My name is Sean Radley, the curator of Millstreet Museum, and I'm honoured to be joined by a wonderful, wonderful historian and researcher here, Mr. Dennis Murphy here from Caherdowney. And we are here for a very special reason, because the man in camera at the moment, actually, Mr. Roger O'Sullivan, placed a post on the Millstreet website inquiring about a particular family, and lo and behold, with a lot of different people being contacted, particularly Dennis and a lady called Mary Hackett, it's been a tremendously very special result, and we're so honoured to be here in Carriganima Church here on this, the 7th of October 2014, for a truly historic meeting which really goes back 125 years. Isn't that so, Dennis?
That's quite so indeed, as we have the descendant of somebody that left this area some 125 years ago, and later this evening she's hopefully going to meet, I suppose, her third or fourth cousin, is it? People that never knew that each of them existed.
Incredible.
Incredible indeed, it is that.
And you even have already seen the cemetery where
I managed to trace where they're buried. We'll be popping up to where he grew up, I suppose, very soon. And as I say, our itinerary is to call to where the man grew up, to go to where he's buried, and to where his brother is buried, sorry. Our own great-grandfather is obviously in the States, or is no longer with us, I presume, and finally to meet that cousin. So that's our plan for the evening, if the weather holds good.
Very special, but you have arranged the weather also.
I do my best, I do my best.
So now at this particular point,
let's meet.
Wow, who have we here first of all?
Molly.
Molly, welcome to Ireland. It's such an honour, and what a beautiful person you are. You're a great ambassador for America. And what part of America do you come from?
The United
States, yeah? New Hampshire, is it?
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, oh wow, I had the privilege of being there in 1980, and it was so special. So we're so delighted that you're here. And who have you brought with you?
My mom, Maureen.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm Maureen.
Indeed, Maureen?
Yes, Maureen.
Oh my goodness, that's really Irish.
Yes, indeed.
Maureen, you're delighted. And
Thanks,
Nice to
hi.
meet you, Maureen. Pleased
Maureen.
indeed.
And of course, you met Molly here.
Molly, how are you keeping? How are you keeping?
This was pretty exciting.
I tell you, we pulled out all the stops.
I guess so.
It's very special, really, because very often we have people tracing routes, but rarely has it reached a point where we could have such completion. This is quite amazing, really, you know. My goodness, you didn't know anything about one side of the family, is this correct?
Correct. So we knew, we've been connected for years with my great-grandmother's side of the family, the Desmonds, and we didn't know much about the Kellehers, and it seemed that my great-grandfather was pretty much non-existent. We didn't know his birth date, we knew nothing. And, my mother's recollection, he either passed away before she was born or, when she was a baby.
Right.
And he just wasn't talked about, and when she asked about him, it was just very quiet, so she just didn't really know much about him. And then Roger, who's our historian, mysterious, likes to solve a mystery, said, I really want to see if we can do this. So we tried to do some research on our end in the U.S., and based on their address, we knew that they lived in Brochton, Mass. We knew the address, but we couldn't find anything.
Yeah, that's interesting when you say Brochton, Mass, because many of the people from Ireland, from Millstreet, went to Brochton. Many, particularly many shoemakers. Many shoemakers left. Millstreet had so many shoemakers, it was suggested that they almost had a football team of shoemakers in Millstreet. And many of them emigrated to Brochton, because apparently Brochton is quite famous for the shoemaking industries.
Oh wow!
A section of Brochton.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Maybe it has declined since, but it's been a while since I lived.
But coming here, my goodness, and so it must have been quite an amazing feeling to realise that, goodness, maybe this is possible, that we may trace it back exactly to the correct point.
Right, so I found out today that I was actually going to meet, Roger is full of surprises always, so I found out today that I would actually probably meet one of my relatives, which is just amazing. My mother is going to wish she was here.
That is amazing, really.
So your mother is still with us, obviously, of
Yes.
course, and your grandparents are
My grandparents are passed away.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So they were the descendants of the men that immigrated.
Correct.
Yes.
So my grandmother, this would be my grandmother's father. So my mother's great-grandfather,
right,
Jeremiah.
Right.
Yeah.
And apart from your grandmother, did this man have lots more children?
They're all passed away.
Maureen's mum is the only ancestor or the only descendant of Jeremiah Kelleher.
Correct.
Crikey. Right.
And Joanne
And you're the next line.
correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have Molly then to join us.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes.
So Dennis, you knew, sorry for taking over your interviewing there, Sean. Dennis, you knew this Kelleher family.
I did indeed.
Tell Maureen what her people were like.
I knew a niece of the men that you're talking about, of the Jeremiah that immigrated. I knew a niece of his until the day she died, I suppose, really. As a matter of fact, the very day she died, I was one of the first people she lived there by herself, up where we're going now to see the house, and she was the last one of the Kellehers to actually live there, and she lived to be 90 years of age, and a very, very nice lady. In fact, I was saying that to Roger as we were coming in, that all those Kellehers in the side of the Atlantic, they were all lovely people. We couldn't but come out and do the best we could when you arrived over. I knew Nora, I knew several of her family, and it's a nephew of hers now, who would be a second cousin of your parent.
Nora was your granny's first cousin, who she never knew existed.
Oh, wow.
My goodness.
Wow.
That's extraordinary.
Yes.
Extraordinary.
And there was plenty more. These are all the ones in that census of 1911. Nora hadn't been born by then, I think, actually. If you look at that census paper, there's probably 3 or 4 children of that way by Cornelius and his wife, whatever she was, Honora, wasn't it? That there would have been 4 of their children born at that stage, and I think there were 2 more. We'll check that with 2 cousin of sorts later. There would be 2 more born afterwards. But they were nice people. They farmed up there. Some of them moved out of the place and what have you. But the last one to survive was Nora, and I knew her for the best part of my life.
And there was another family, another Kelleher family in that region, and this is a lady that I knew, Nell Oak.
Yes.
And she was, Oak means young. Nell Oak would mean young Nell.
Irish, you know,
young Nell. And she lived to over 100.
Oh, wow.
So the Kellehers have great
being a
genes.
Kelleher
Great
from
genes.
there, you could live to be as old as the hills up there.
I'll have to tell my mother that when I get back.
Get a good pension.
Is she in good health? She is.
She's in good health, yeah.
Brilliant.
She's a feisty.
Yes, and
We won't go into it.
she's young.
She's 72.
No, that's wrong. That's wrong.
Young person.
You can surprise.
She visited here first in 2002, and we brought them to Millstreet, but all we could saw was the church and the town. We knew nothing. And at that stage, her cousin may have been still alive.
In
This was
2002,
August
she
2002.
had just passed away a few months before that.
Oh,
she died
dear.
in February of 2002. The cousin.
My goodness.
Joanne arrived in August 2002.
Mikey, what a pity.
We're just about to go into the church where my grandfather, Jeremiah Kelleher, went as a child. And with us we have Louise, your husband Bob, and behind the camera, Roger, my second cousin, who is closest to me blood relationship-wise.
Have a look at the notice board.
Oh my God. Oh my heavenly day. How did you do that? Jeremiah Kelleher, Millstreet, County Cork, immigrated to Boston, USA, approximately 1900, married Hannah Desmond, and then the town that I can't pronounce. Clondra. And County Cork. Only grandchild is visiting Cork in August. Trace Jeremiah's relatives. Please phone the phone number. Phone of Jeremiah.
Give him a shot now.
I got 1 phone call
Did you?
at at 1:30 when we were ready to go for lunch Sunday. Do you remember it?
Yes.
Yes, you did.
Right. Now, there's a lady she may be able to help,
Okay.
and she's Kelleher,
Ah.
but she asked her mother, and her mother said no. But they had neighbours, and a Con Kelleher, who, if he was alive today, he'd be 140 years old. And they think his brother may have been Jeremiah, may have gone to Boston. We're not sure.
Okay. But it's something.
There was a guy today that we were to call in the bank, but I rang the bank this morning, he was on holiday.
So we may learn more.
Pending.
Ah.
That's amazing.
She was a year so she had, and with that the one above in Caherdowney, Nora the lad in Mercy, she had her senses up to the bitter end.
And did she ever speak about any relations in America?
I must ask Mike now, your cousin, I must ask him later. I know that there was relatives in America, but I have a feeling it was a sister of hers was in America actually. We probably never knew
That
that
she
they had a
existed?
Right.
couple.
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, probably not.
So any
We'll find out. That's okay.
any scandal with these Kellehers?
No, they were going on writing citizens like that. They did not have in jail or they never were before the courts or anything.
Well, we have one picture. We have one picture of my great grandparents, and my great grandfather has a scar on his face. So we always wondered it's a pretty big scar.
Probably fighting the English. I don't know.
Roger, what is the picture that we featured on the Millstreet website?
That is the photo that Maureen is talking
It's
about.
a beautiful
Okay.
picture.
Her great grandparents' wedding photo.
Hundreds and hundreds of hits from on our website about that query.
Oh,
so,
wow.
so that's because
And we're only up to yesterday, after speaking to you, Dennis, we found out that Hannah and her husband were extremely close to each other back here, a couple of miles. Cobra, Clondrohid. So we're not sure. They may have known each other before they went to America.
dear goodness, yeah. And Mary Hackett, who did the further, is it through the Millstreet website she became aware of that?
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Because she does log in on a constant basis to our website. And it's amazing the number of people that she found roots. But this is actually more developed than we've ever seen before.
Yeah.
To think that we were able to link it directly then to Caherdowney. And when I heard Caherdowney, synonymous with Caherdowney and with Research Supreme is Dennis. Dennis has helped a priest from New Zealand a number of years ago whose roots were in
We're
Caherdowney.
getting good at this.
And
Tell me, what year did your grandfather go to the States? You know?
I don't know.
About 1889, 1890.
Is that what that document says?
So your cousin that you will meet later, it's the first meeting of two families in about 125 years.
Crazy.
Feeling excited?
Yes.
it's incredible.
And even more important, Molly will meet his
yeah.
wife. You will meet new cousins that your granny didn't even meet yet today. Yeah.
Actually, you come 1 year late for the gathering because this is one of the best.
The government invented it. They used to bring all our relatives from abroad in to spend their money to improve the economy somewhat.
Oh, we missed that.
We needed a bit of excitement for this year.
Right.
You see, the gathering was meant to bring particularly people tracing roots, but this must be one of the best route tracing stories that has been there, because there have been quite a number of them documented on documentaries, on television and so on, but this one now really is linked to
We had nothing.
It
It was the marriage details that Mary Hackett worked on and linked it back home to the Irish census.
I have to send a nice thank you note to her.
I asked her for the bill and she said she doesn't do bills, so
She's a total lady. I met her once. She's originally from Caherdowney, which is near Rathmore in County Kerry, and only 7-8 miles from Millstreet. But she now lives in Waterford, and is an amazing researcher altogether.
I guess so.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
researched this pretty quickly for us, so.
Yeah, before you left.
Thank you, Mary.
And also thanks to John F. Kelleher, who put me in touch with you,
Yes,
who does
John
the
F. from-
Albane
Yes, indeed.
website.
Absolutely.
Facebook.
Thank you
very
both
much.
of you too.
Not at all.
So Dennis, where are you taking us?
Taking you to the ancestral home where John Roy Kelleher left some 125 years ago, that you said this is where he grew up.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Right, that's outside. Right, Trevor.
And before we go, we must get
Eyes were smiling, Irish eyes beguiling, eyes that gleamed with love, my dear, were the light the skies above.